Okay. Good morning to you all. Good morning, Mr. Mendy. Good morning, Honorable Chair, and all members of the committee. Mr. Mendy, I have a few questions for you. I think we are talking, but nonetheless, good morning, Honorable Chair and the Vice Chair, as well as our able clerk, and of course other staff of the committee. Good morning to you, Mr. Mendy, as well. Honorable Sanko, good morning. My name is Honorable Kemu Kasama, a member of this committee representing Lower Badibu. I have a few questions for you, Mr. Mendy. One. Oh, on introduction, okay.
Good morning to you all. My name is Honorable Sankundamfa, member for Ilyasa constituency.
Good morning. I am Honorable Pat Jawara, nominated and Vice Chair of the committee.
Good morning. I'm Honorable Swaibu Ture, member for Woodley East and Chair of the Public Petitions.
Good morning, Mamadou Ba, Clerk to the committee.
Yes, thank you. Yes. You can also introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Sereny Falu Mendy. I'm the CEO for Lerr Group.
Thank you very much. Mr. Solomon, Mr. Mendy, is Mr. Solomon going to say anything? Going to serve as a witness? If he is going to say anything, that means that he should also take affirmation. Yeah. So, like I said, this is the Public Petition Committee, and our that's what I'm talking. Yes. Before we commence business, witnesses should take oath or affirmation, and I will just call on the clerk to. That you should also be in the know that we are on live in this, because it's a public hearing.
I, Sereny Falu Mendy.
I, Sereny Falu Mendy.
Do affirm that.
Do affirm that.
I will speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth. So help me God. Solomon.
I, Solomon Tiliwa Johnson.
I, Solomon Tiliwa Johnson.
Do affirm that.
Do affirm that.
I will speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the
So
truth.
help me God.
So help me God.
Yes, thank you very much. Like we said, we are on an inquiry into the GT board issue. We will receive this petition from the petitioners, and it includes the ecologists, how they were contracted, etc., and how the work is going. what are the challenges there, etc. So that is the reason, because we are the proprietor of the Lerr group that was awarded the contract. We deem it fit that we need to raise some more questions to the proprietor and any other person that can give us anything relating to that. And if you feel that if you don't want to say certain thing in the air, you feel that it's a secret kind of, you can advise us, and then we'll see what to do relating to that. Okay. But also the advice is you must give us the truth, and nothing but the truth. We've already sworn. And giving us the contrary to that is perjury, just like in a court. Yeah. Okay, then Mr. Mending, we want you to take us through the contract, the original contract that was signed with the GT. Can you please take us through the original contract? Yes, of course. And in relation to the specification, the duration of the contract, and the amount that was involved.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We tendered the project, and we were found to be the most responsive by GPPA, and they advised GT board that even though we were the most expensive, let them try and negotiate with us so that they can try and get us to be a little bit more cheaper. GT board engaged a consultant who negotiated with us for almost a month and a half in GT board's offices, whereabouts they reduced the price from, I think it was from 20, I can't remember the figure, but it was reduced quite a bit, substantially. We ended up where we are in terms of the contract sum. It was very hard negotiations at the time, I remember. I was not in town, I was abroad, but I was kept abreast with everything that was happening. At one point, we actually thought it was not worthwhile for us because they wanted us to go down a lot in terms of the price. And it wasn't beneficial to us because the consultant was just knocking down our prices, and we thought, thank God, we tendered this job. It should be a matter of just accepting the price and moving on, So eventually we agreed at some number, and that number is what's been included in the contract, which is for each unit. It was 22,338,105 dollars. 22,338,105, and that figure is inclusive of VAT, and the net figure without VAT was $19,424,440. That's without the VAT, the net figure for each of the projects. So exclusive of what is $19,424,440. Exclusive of that, yeah. And bearing in mind that at the time we were negotiating these figures, we were not told where the sites were going to be. We were not told the location of the sites. You know, and that's why each of the sites were just the same price, which normally it shouldn't, because any site that is at the provinces, it should be different from those that are in the center. I think, so basically, the contract was drawn up after that. No, it was not. They identified it when they drafted the contract to tell us this is where the locations were going to be. I don't know, that's the way there were 5 sites, and that's it. Not where the sites are going to be, you know. But when the contract was drawn up, we got to find out where these sites were, because that's when they took us over to have a look or even inspect some of these sites. Because normally what will happen in these tenders, you will go yourself with the client to inspect the sites at the time of tender, so that you see what you're tendering. But that wasn't the case here, you know. So in a way, we were shouldering a lot of burden and cost by trying to equalize all the sites and making them equal. There was no location factor, basically, to factor for those in the provinces. So coming back to the contract that was drawn up, and we were also asked that we to take up the issue about the about pre-financing. You know, we tendered it on the basis of a normal traditional tender. We did not put in any cost of pre-finance or anything of that nature. Now, they wanted somebody in our capacity to be able to help them to progress this job and also take on the burden of the finances as well. They'll put some money in, but somebody to come in and finish it. And then we get paid when we're done. Now, that was burdensome to me because, number one, we didn't include the cost of that pre-finance in our figures. Just like the Banjul Roads project. You see the millions that are being cited because somebody wanted to pre-finance it and everybody thought it was expensive. But that is the nature of pre-financing. It's not cheap and the banks will charge you. You know, so for us, we thought, we've come to a point where they should be awarding us a contract, and they're now putting another condition on top of us, you know, which was very onerous. Now, what we said to them, we will not be able to pre-finance everything. We can do it in between payments that you gave us, as long as the project hasn't changed in scope. You know, if we're going through it in the manner that you've given to us, that design, we will be able to, because I looked at the figures and the design that we've got, and I felt that we will be able to possibly get it to where they wanted to get it by using our own resources and getting some little money from the bank and doing a pre-finance. So we ended up agreeing a statement in the contract that says that in between payments to the contractor shall endeavor to finance the job. Now, what that did, I will not come to the problems. I'll come to the problems later. But
how much is that amount?
How
much should they give you so that you do the rest?
Okay, 40%.
Based on the agreement,
40%, yes. Now the 40% advance, based on 3 sites, based on 5 sites, each site had about 8 million. 8 million advance for each site, giving you 40%. The 40% came to about 44 million. Yeah. So when you divide it over 5 sites, each site had 8 million, 8 million, 8 million for 5 sites. 8 point something million. Yeah. So that's how it was spread out. And then the duration was put in there, and that the job will be done in phases. Phase 1 being Bara, Kunkeling, and Sotoma. That's the first phase. The second phase being Nyanga Bantang, and then the third phase being Arafat. Yeah. So those are the 3 phases we're going to do the work in. Phase 3 is Arafat, which is Jaho Mandunga, yeah. Nyanga Bantang, yeah, that's phase 2. The duration of the project is quoted at 17 months. Yeah, 17 months. Yeah. I don't think it's a 3. I think that's for the whole lot. For the entire lot, yeah. That's for the entire lot. Starting signed on the 24th of March, 2020. 24th of March, that's when we signed the contract. 2020. Yeah, so we signed, but we couldn't access the site. Obviously, they needed to hand over the sites to us. So they didn't hand over some of the sites until they got a consultant to do the job and a consultant to do a design. And that wasn't completed until October time, when they managed to finalize a consultant and who also managed to do a design, which design I've got a copy of here.
So it is after you sign the contract that they engage a consultant to
do a design.
To do the design. And it is after the design that they took you around to see the sites.
That's right.
Okay. Good. Okay. Then after
now, so we also went to Bara. Bara was the one we said we'll start first. And Bara, at the foundation stone laying.
you're trying to say that that delayed you, or it did not have any delay on you?
Of course it delayed, because
delayed.
from March till October,
Okay.
there's some delay there.
Okay.
At least you will see how it was impacted on starting on site. And also because Bara, they wanted a hotel rather than lodges. The consultant was spending a lot of time designing it into what they wanted to call DK Jawara Hotel. So now Can I carry on? Or?
Yes, I do. I think the questions that I have will be centered on the proposed sites of Jahawur and Banta. Because work is yet to be started at that end. I want the the proprietor of Lerr Group to tell us the reason why the work is not yet started at that site.
Comments at Yahoo and Nyangabanta?
We don't even know where those sites are.
We don't know.
They've not even shown us the sites. We've wanted them to show us, but for some reason they haven't. It may be the financial pressure on the job, both on them and on us. But we don't know where those sites are. And I think at the time, back then, in those dark days when this project was attracting so much bad press, including this petition, I think it was the right thing to do for them to concentrate on the smaller, on getting things, finished in the manner that we're doing. I think now that hurdle, they've come over that hurdle, and we've been pressing them to try and release the other sides so that we can get on with it. Because the problem we're having is that prices have gone up over 30–40% since we started, and we've been shouldering the burden of that. And we've not asked them to reimburse us or restitution in terms of our costs. And as time moves on, prices keep going up, and somebody will shoulder the burden of that. And we just worried that it's going to create a problem between us and the client. So the quicker they release it, the better, so that we can secure those materials and try and make sure nobody gets harmed at the end. That's one. The other reason also is that some of these projects in the provinces, as we learned at Sotoma, which are in the provinces, they're not very easy to deal with. I think we might have lost in terms of breakages, damages, return to repeat, because they're so far. The logistics taking materials, because the materials in Basse, they're not of good quality. Everything we're having to take over there. Because one example I'll give you, my plumbers went to try and buy some plumbing materials in Basse. Their price for entire plumbing shopping list was about 22,000. So I showed it to my plumber in Banjul. I said to him, "Oh, look at this, we're buying. How much are you going to sell it to us?" So that, just to compare notes. His price was about 35 to 40,000. I said to him, "Why is your price so different? Basse should be more expensive because it's far." He said, "These are Nyongan materials they're selling you." So sometimes the quality, if you're not careful, because within a year, most of those materials will start breaking. And we're talking about a hotel. You need something that's got quality and durable. So these things in the provinces need to be dealt with quickly, and they need to be dealt with in time to make sure the materials are there. And then, because they will take time to finish, but you'll also get the quality. Because if you go to Sotoma now and look at the quality job we've done there, you will see that sometimes, just like the English will say, good things come to those who wait, because it was worth waiting for. We did a quality job there, I'm very proud of what we've achieved. It was a very difficult environment, but then we've achieved it. But then the same thing, if we want to repeat it to these others, you need to do it right now so that we can try and get it finished.
The second one is, as you rightly mentioned, since the signing of the contract back in 2020 up to date, so many things have happened. The price of commodities or the items that now you might need at the site, the price are now changed, increased for that matter. What do you think should be done in order to alleviate this problem that you might face in the execution of your duty towards these sites? For example, like I said before, the progress of the contract has been slow because, as you mentioned, it was signed in 2020, and little has been achieved. To my understanding, there is only one site which is on the verge of completion, that is Sotuma. Why is it that all these things are happening? Is it that the GT board are not forthcoming in the manner they should be forthcoming over? Can you please clarify on these two issues?
I think it's several factors. As I said, we went into the contract in good faith, but then some onerous clauses have been put in, such as this pre-financing. We took it on board, and we also determined to make sure that it works. We got pre-financing from banks to actually push the job along. That's why all of the three jobs, we managed to get all the structures to the level they are. Kunkiling, Bara, and Sotuma. All the structures are up except the restaurant, they said. But most of the structures are where they are without the involvement of GT board. But what really harmed us, what really impacted our progress, was the misdirection of funds to the DK Jawara Hotel, which they later on reneged and said they didn't want. It wasn't an instruction. They denied, they even told the consultant that he wasn't told to do it, even though he prepared a whole set of drawings to do the DK Jawara design. So they basically backtracked on that after us having plowed a lot of money. Well, if you go to Bara, you'll see all the money spent on those structures. They're still standing there. So we spent a lot of money doing that, which could have been spent on the actual structures that we originally intended. If that was the case, I think we would have gone far. That's number one. Number two, I can't hear you, sir.
I said we were going to come to that when the contract actually gets modified, because the contract you had, the previous contract, was 5 ecologies. And now we are talking about DK Jawara Hotel. How did that come about?
The consultant must have had meetings with the client who indicated to him they wanted. And when he was preparing his design, he gave us the design for Bara and said, this is what is required. A hotel is what is required. So that's how the design came about. Because we working to the direction of the consultant, so, and he's the employee. And then that's how that came about. I think the mistake I made is that I should not have moved on with it until they signed off to it, because I thought any instruction from the consultant, we can simply use why we did the work, get paid for it. And everybody, they were going there, they were saying it, they decide. It wasn't as though they didn't realize this was happening. If it all it wasn't happening, they should support, but they didn't. So that really wasted a lot of money.
Did you say that they did not realize?
No, they couldn't have, they must have realized.
They must have.
We wrote to them, we told them, I think they come to a point when we them of the full cost. That's when they pulled us up to the minister's office and then they start backtracking. They thought this was too expensive, we can't afford it. And they I said, what? And then they challenged the consultant. Who told you? What? But those people that told him were already gone. They sacked them. You know, so a sorry situation. And, it was not helpful to us, having done all of that. So you asked the question, why we haven't, why it was taking time. That's one of the reasons. The other reason being, when the consultant did their design, changing from the tender to this set of drawings, there's a big difference between the tender and the new, in terms of the size, in terms of not just the size. Yeah, it was the size. It was the same, but it incorporated durable items that would make sure the building stood there for the next 50, 60 years. Because the original drawings didn't have any, just blocks up and that's it. There were no structural stuff in it, you know. So so there were changes that we funded these changes, including changes in quantity from their bill of quantities to the new bill that the consultant did. There were changes there which were substantial, you know. So all of that we funded in terms of coming out of our funds without asking GT Board to fund it, you know, because we want to do it until the end to do that. So you've got the misdirected spend money on the hotel, the increase in cost due to the remeasurement, and then there was a third. I think I mentioned 4 things to you this morning. This morning I had it all in my mind. But those are the things I think which and then the logistics, the location factor, as I mentioned, having to travel to Sotoma, which we didn't anticipate. There's some cost in there, which inherent cost. So for us, this really, you know, hampered our ability to be able to carry on funding. We spend those money on those items, which we haven't been reimbursed as yet. So it was essential then that the client steps in and do the needful, and so that the job can carry on in terms of, you know, putting money in so that we can get the job finished, which is what they ended up doing.
You know, you started explaining. You said you met the board at the minister's office.
No, I mean the staff with the minister.
It's the staff.
The staff, yeah.
So you met the staff at the minister's office. So what actually transpired? What did you agree on?
Well, basically, they agreed to redesign because now they suspended all the hotel, and then they said, we want to go back to the original HOTS scenario. So they asked the consultant to redesign, but which meant another delay in time, you know, because it took him a while to actually go back, redesign, just to allow for some more HOTS rather than hotel structure, you know. So that's why Bara, if you go, there's some HOTS amongst some foundation works we'd already done, but he managed to squeeze them in so that he could get, you know, the number of HOTS that they wanted. So that now we only look at HOTS rather than a hotel structure. And that was what was agreed.
It's meant to be only in Bara or in all the other?
Only in Bara.
Only in Bara. Yes, another member has come. Another co-opted member has come. They should introduce themselves. Can you please introduce yourselves?
Thank you, Chairman. I think to start with, I would say I'm sorry for really coming late. I am Honorable Kewalang Fufana and a member of the Public Petitions Committee. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Fatima Tanjai, not a member but only observing. Thank you.
Yes, Auntie.
Good morning. My name is Hadi Dande Jabi. I'm an SMS to the committee.
Thank you. Can we, let's just be.
Thank you. Mr. Mendy,
Yeah.
during your submission, you mentioned that somebody just asked this. Mr. Mendy, what really triggered you to enter into a contract that side was not identified? 1. 2, was it agreed within both parties that they have to hire a consultant to do the design before handing over the contract to you?
Yeah. Yeah, the question about the site, it is important to know it before you enter into contract. But once it is shown, you could rightly show the consultant that some aspects of the site may not have been known to you at the time of tender, and that could trigger either a variation or a discussion on how you will deal with certain abnormalities. So, so it is not an issue that will hamper the progress of any contract. Because I've done quite a few tenders. Sometimes I really do the site visits, which is dangerous because you'll take your risk. That's a risky business, especially if they told you where it is and that you could do the site visit. But on this one, we were not told, and it was not listed. So so for that, we just waited on them to tell us, and then we'll see. As it happened, it was on areas that there was no difficulties inherent on the land. It's just that the locations were not envisaged by us, so, but it's not something that we are even talking to GT board about. We've just got on with the job, We're just saying that we have incurred costs which are not reflected in our price. But that's the nature of why they would employ somebody at that price that they've employed them. If they employed anybody at a lower figure, even now, I know that they would never have got off the line. They would never. And I think they know that, because I'm sure they've tried to get other prices and compare it with ours. Because when we price a job, we price it to make sure that we cover all our costs and make sure we can finish the job at the right price. We don't price it at a whim, because we know how to price this job. So when the site abnormalities come, we'll take a view on those issues as well. Except if they tell us it's in the middle of the ocean, that is something that we won't envisage. And I'm sure it won't be like that. So that's the only areas where...
Mr. Mendy, what surprised us is that the GT board thought, or must have thought, that they are dealing with a very experienced company. And we are surprised that a Lerr group, an experienced company like this, would go into a contract where they don't even see the site, We would have thought that you would have calculated everything to ensure that you don't make losses. But then now you went into this contract without actually even seeing the site of the locations. Is that not perplexing?
Well, I don't know whether it's perplexing is the word. I would say that if I came back to GT board and said to them, as part of my claim, you took me to Sotoma and these long distance areas, and I'm looking for a claim of 3 million, then it becomes a bit perplexing. But I'm not saying that, and I've not said that. I've just said we incurred costs that I've shouldered and I've not asked for it. So it will become perplexing if you ask Chief the Ward and said, Mr. Mendy has even come and is asking for more money because he's working at Sotoma and Nyanga Bantang and the others. You know, but for us, we've shouldered the burden because of the nature in which the negotiations were done at the time. Because if we felt this was going to be onerous and our price was low, we would definitely not have taken the additional cost, because we had the logistics, we had the vehicles, we had the manpower, you know. So those are things that we know we could cover. So that's why when we pricing it, we would know that there would be fuel costs and other things, maintenance. 100%. We won't be able to capture 100%. Your second question? The consultant. Yeah. Are you okay with the first one? Okay. The second one, the consultant, in any project, it's the client's responsibility to engage the consultant. That's not our responsibility. It's got nothing to do with us. Absolutely nothing to do with us. No, you don't agree with the client to say, give us a consultant. That's up to them. They need to provide it to you. It's like you are employers of the government. When you get a medical and you choose a doctor, you know, it's not for you to engage the government to say, provide me with a doctor, because now I've got it's for them to provide you with that doctor. So it's for us as clients of the GT board, they need to find their consultant and then engage him to do a design, engage him to supervise us, engage him to make sure he gives us timely information, which has got nothing to do with us. That is expected of them. They need to know that that is their responsibility. That is something that is sacrosanct. We don't have anything to do that or to agree with them, please give us a consultant. Or no, they know they need to do that. So that's why I don't ever think we sat down to even discuss about a consultant. Never. I wouldn't discuss it with them. They need to choose their own consultant and bring them on board. And that way, that consultant is working for them.
So, sorry, just a follow-up question. When the face was changed from a hut to a hotel, from hotel to hut, where you, yes.
I think it's back in June 2021, possibly. Yeah.
And you were
21, 22 or 21? 2021, yeah.
So what you're trying to say is that the original contract was HOTS.
Yes.
And then there is a modification where, you know, a hotel is added, DK Javara. That's for Bara, only for Bara. And only for Bara. Then there is a change again from hotel and HOTS to only HOTS.
HOTS, yeah.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Yes? Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yeah. Mr. Mendy, I mean, when you were providing answers with regards to why the reason for the delayance, you did indicate 3 reasons. One was your initial commitment to the DK Jawara Hotel in Bara, I mean, where you invested funds, and later the board decided to say it was never their initiative. And the second one was prices have increased by over 40% in comparison to the time of signing the contract to now. And the third one is the inherent cost that you incurred due to the distance of the locations coupled with the design as well. I mean, I was going to ask 3 questions, but in your answer to the Honorable Chair, you've provided 2 of those answers, because I was going to ask you, I mean, are there variations in the pricing? And these variations, whether they are in incremental, and if so, who bears the cost? But you've answered all of them. You've indicated that there are variations and they're in the incremental format, and you've also indicated that you shouldered them without making a claim. So now, my question is this: how does that affect the overall performance of the contract and the delivery of the quality which is intended to be achieved?
All right, thank you, sir. Let me just clarify. When I said I've shouldered that cost, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to claim it in terms of the variations. It's the logistics that one I'm not interested in. But they've asked us for some variations in the project, and those we've done them, but we're waiting till the completion of Sotoma for us to lodge the claim. Yes, and also the changes in the quantities from the tender to the new, those things as well. We're now measuring it to put it to them to say these are the changes. So can you look at them? We agreed for them to pay. Yeah, okay. How has that impacted on quality and progress even? I would say that it was difficult. We never compromise on our quality because that's why clients will come to us for repeat business, because what we do, we try to make sure we deliver a good product, to our clients, even if it's a cost to us, and that also tends to delay the job a little, because we're using our meager resources to try and get to an end result. If the client doesn't intervene and try and redress some of these issues in a timely manner, it will affect our progress, but it won't affect our quality, because it will just slow down the job. And that's what's been affecting us most of the time. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Mendy. Mr. Mendy, we do understand that the work at Sotoma is almost completed. My question is whether there is an ongoing work at Kunkiling and Bara. If no, what is now holding or stalling the work of these 2 sites? Thank you.
Yeah, there's work going on at Bara. Again, very slowly. We're waiting for GT board to basically put some money in so that we can progress those work quickly. We've asked them for this almost 2-3 weeks ago, because we warned them that the rainy season was coming, that it would be better to start procuring the materials for the roof, also the other remaining materials, particularly for Kunkiling, because Bara, we've got some of them, but not all. And then Kunkiling is where we were worried about the most, because the access there is basically zero. It's inaccessible during the rains. So what we did, we tried to take most of our materials in there before the rainy season, in anticipation that GT board will come in with the balance in terms of the finishing and the other bits, so that we can try and finish both Bara and Kunkeling in the next, I would say, 3 to 4 months. That was our target, you know, because what remains is just the roofing now, to get the roofing done, and then the tiling and the finishing. The structures are all been taken up, and we've even taken our materials there, but we don't know whether because the cement is there waiting for them to react, you know, and we're just worried that some of these materials might, you know what I mean, might be damaged, or, you know, because they've just been lying there and waiting for the client to react. So we're hoping that they'll do something, and I'm sure they will, because they also know the urgency of what is required, and also they've seen the positive outcome of Sotoma, how everything worked well when deliver.
Yeah, let's have this clear. You know, the first phase for Bara, you were saying the first phase for Bara, the time frame to finish Bara was what time?
17 months. 17 months. And then, remember, in June last year, they changed it now, they changed the design, which delayed us a little bit, introducing some more huts in June. Okay?
So that's Bara. So the time frame when Bara should be completed is what time?
At the moment, we're relying on GT board to inject funds.
No, before that arrangement, the post arrangement, what time was given to you to finish Bara?
From after June.
1st of June.
No, I mean, change. After the change to huts.
No, when you signed the contract.
Yeah, it was 17 months.
17 months
Yeah.
from the start of the start date of the
Yeah,
contract.
from October, yeah.
17 months. And is that the same 17 months for all the ecologies?
Yeah, 17 months.
17 months. Okay. Yeah. So 17 months was last June, right?
No. For Bara,
From the start date to 17 months. 17 months would fall on, is it not June of 2021? June 2021.
if you take it like, I don't know, if you take it October 2020 to 20 months, October to October, that's 12, plus another 8 months, 21, and then June, huh? June 2022. June 2022, yeah.
When did they actually bring the money?
In June 2021.
In June 2021, they made it, which pushed the date.
We pushed the date further because we had to wait for the design to come in.
Yeah.
And that took the consultant maybe about 2 months for him to do his bit, 8 weeks. So from June, then July, August, we take it to August 2020.
August 2022.
22.
August 2022. Should have been the completion date.
Yeah.
August 2022. So, is it? So you are now saying it's not complete.
No.
We're saying only Bara,
Only Sotoma.
only Sotoma is close to completion.
Yeah.
But even Sotoma is not completed.
Yeah, it is completed. Only small bits, no, so small bits and pieces. Huh?
Small pieces.
Yeah.
But Bara is far from completion.
Bara is another, if we had the funds, it will be about 3 months, 4 months.
If you have the funds. But your agreement, while you are modifying, did you also get any assurance from the GT board that you are going to get disbursement? Extra disbursement, apart from the 40%?
The disbursement, they've allowed for that, and they've been doing that as well.
They've been doing that?
Yes, they've been doing that. not to us direct. They're dispersing to our suppliers.
Okay. Yeah, okay, yes.
Thank you once again. Mr. Mendy, you did mention that there are goods that were evacuated from your side to places like Kunkiling. And we all know that the road network to Kunkiling is not accessible at this time of the year. Do you have goods at that side which are, of course, perishable?
Yes.
For example, cement.
Yes.
Now, what do you think would happen if the funds are not forthcoming as soon as possible? You don't think that those perishable goods will not get spoiled?
That's the problem that we're contemplating. We're wondering what we do now. How we progress it so that we use them somehow there. And then because getting them out of there is also a problem, so we've been trying to see how we can get some funds ourselves and push it along until GT board are ready, but we've been talking to them so that they can see that really if they just invest a little bit, we can get a lot out of it. We were equally waiting on them. But there are materials there that need to be protected.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mr. Mendy, in February of this year, we were on a site visit to the committee rolled out and we visited Bara. Okay. We visited Bara and all the other sites. And we were reliably informed by the GT board staff that they had an agreement with you to say that Sotuma will be completed in March of 2023. Kunkiling will be completed in April of 2023. And Bara will be completed in May of 2023. So we want clarification to know, A, whether that was a binding agreement between you and GT board, and B, if so, how far with that agreement, and finally, what are the challenges, if at all there are any setbacks to it?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that is a binding agreement we had with them. We anticipated that that things will go according to plan, but they didn't. And that's why at the moment we had an agreement with them. Because of the challenges, they are aware of them. They are now also participating in monitoring in terms of progress. They've got people on site, and they also are, instead of, we're trying to honor the text of the contract, and what they've done is to make sure that the suppliers who are supplying the materials, they are the ones that are getting paid, make sure the works are being completed. So the challenges that we face, most of them are just logistical, and that is being addressed by us direct. And GT board step in and sort out the suppliers in a way that ensures the project gets completed on time. So once we do that, and I think they are also in line, aware in terms of the progress that we're making, we'll be achieving those targets I've just mentioned. That Bara in the next 4 months should be done. And then Kunkiling, if they do the funds at the same time, they'll be finished at the same time. I think Sotuma was a learning curve in terms of knowing what the challenges were, because we had a lot of people from Senegal doing quite a lot of work there, and some people also. We had challenges. Timber, there was a problem getting timber. There was an embargo in the Basse area, especially, sometimes when the president's around that side. We were finding it difficult, but we hope that those challenges won't affect us when we are working at Bara. That's why we are a little bit more confident in how we'll address those challenges closer to home. So the only thing now is just to wait for the GT board to do the needful so that we can try and progress things as quickly as possible.
Just want to finish it. So, Mr. Mendy, as per your submission, it seems like that agreement has shifted to say Sutuma is almost complete, just finishing touches, but Bara can be completed in the next 4 months. Bara was supposed to be completed in May. Currently, we are in July, but we can say August. Next 4 months from August will be August, September, October, and then November. So let's know specifically, where are these challenges coming from? What part did GT board play, and what part comes from Lerr Group? Because our interest is for this project to be completed, so that we can have value for money. Who sold us what, so that we can address the problems where they exist?
Okay, the simple answer to that question is GT board need to act the way they've been doing at Sotoma. Let them sort out the payments to the suppliers quickly. Once the suppliers get their money, then the project will handle the rest in terms of the labor and make sure the job gets done quickly. If that happens, then I think we will achieve our objectives, everybody, because both sides have got, challenges. We had our own challenges, and we're still shouldering them. But I think we need GT board to also step in and also, and help us out. Yeah.
The GT board's argument is that what they have agreed with you is a pre-finance. Now, instead of a pre-finance, now we are calling on the GT board to give you the finance, the funds, before you can do the job. So that's how it ended, right?
Yeah.
Why did it end that way? Why didn't you not continue with the pre-finance as agreed?
Number one, basically I can list out the items where, as I said earlier, we've redirected or misdirected our funds. If we had those, I wouldn't have needed GT board money. It's just going to bring other issues and arguments on board. Either they pay me for the money I've plowed into Bara. Number two, they pay me for the additional design changes. If they pay me that now, I won't need their money. Just pay me what I've done. If I get that money, I will definitely not need their money, because I've already done the work. There's been design change, I've done the work, I've not been paid for it. Thirdly, there's been price increases. If I'm reimbursed the price increase, I will not need them. But all of that I've left, and I said, just pay the suppliers, and then we can progress. But if they want to say, just give me that, and I'll carry on pre-financing. If you do that, then I'll be happy. But because I've not claimed it, I've just left it with them so that they can then develop their own finance. I don't want to put them under pressure, but me too, I'm under pressure. So something's got to give. Either pay me and I do it, or you pay these people and then I'll do the labor. But you cannot just put all the burden on me and say, oh, you pre-finance, and then shoulder the cost of everything. That's not fair. There are costs in there which you need to pay me for. Even the variations you've asked me to do, put additional hot and cold water, put some more, put some more walkways, do some more. So there's some more changes that done.
You know why I am surprised? Because the percentage that is given to you is supposed to complete all the 5 ecologies.
No, that's also incorrect.
That's not correct.
No, because I've just explained to you. The 40% that was given to me was divided over the 5 sites, each site having 8 million. That's why right now, there are 2 other sites, they've got 8 million each, waiting for them to show us the sites so that we can get started on them. Because there's some blocks that we need to mold, which we bought the machines for them already, and we cannot use it. We cannot do anything with that. So for them to give us these sites, that's up to them. So it's not a case that, oh, we're giving you 40. So that means if you value what we've actually done so far is more.
What I'm trying to say is that the 40% that was given to you
Yeah,
was given to you so that you use your own funds
yeah,
in addition to that 40%
absolutely.
to complete all the 5 lodges.
Agreed.
Now, even though that is done in addition to the pre-financing we are supposed to do, you cannot still finish even the 2. Because we have not come to the 3 yet. Only the 2 cannot
Yeah.
be completed.
Yes,
That's why I'm surprised. Why did you accept to go into such an agreement when you know that you don't have the funds to even do 2, despite the addition of the hotel? You know, we've seen the hotel.
Yeah.
Despite that addition, if you had the funds for all the 5 lodges, you know, in addition to the 40%, you would have finished at least 2 by now. But you have not even finished 2.
Not necessarily, because the 40%, 44 million, that 40% doesn't cover our cost for the to do what we've done so far. It doesn't come anywhere near. You see, that's why people will just look at it and think it's cheap. I told you before that the GT board themselves have done their own check to see whether they can get it cheaper. They can't. It's not that cheap. So the amounts that you talk about cannot do.
We would accept your earlier intervention when you said that you've accepted that you've made a mistake. Do you still keep
In
that
not
step?
a mistake in doing what?
A mistake in starting that hotel
Yes, without
when
they haven't told us
exactly
in
that,
writing.
that is-
Yeah.
that is your mistake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't get paid for it.
No, I'm not saying that.
Mr. Mendy, so far, how much is disposal paid to you by GT Port?
To me, they paid the initial 40%, and then I've received, I need to check this, but about 1.5 million plus 1.5 plus another 3, maybe 4.5. The rest, some about 5 million, they paid to the suppliers direct. Yeah. The suppliers.
Which suppliers?
The roof, the guy doing the roof, the guy is doing the windows, the guy doing the tiling, the guy, so it's paid to the suppliers direct.
So what is paid to the suppliers is inclusive.
Yeah, it's in the figure. They're taking it out of my contract.
They took it out of your contract.
Yes, but they didn't pay it to me direct. Yeah.
But you instructed them to do that.
Yes.
So how much is that? How much did they pay to the suppliers on your behalf?
I think it was 5 million the last time. 5 million, yeah, 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah,
Total.
4.8, 4.9. 5 million roughly.
Okay. You are satisfied, Auntie? It's okay. Huh? Yes, you have a.
Mr. Mendy, you did mention that you liaised with GT board and you got a promise from them that they were going to dispose some cars to you. How soon do you think that disbursement of cars to you is going to take place? And if that happens, how many months do you think it's going to take you to complete this job? Because last time when we came to site visit, or when we went to the site visiting, you did mention to us that some of the materials that you use in the construction of these ecologies are coming from Senegal, and it is not easy to get these materials at the time of the rainy season. And here we are in the height of the rainy season. How do you think you're going to have access to this material? Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm not sure when GT board will disperse. We just hope that they do that soon, so that we can progress things. we keep maintaining with our suppliers in Senegal, encouraging them, telling them to prepare everything and get them ready for us. We even told them to get Kunkiling ready because we're hoping that we'll do both at the same time. You know, we still you know, we hope that we'll still be able to get them if they react, you know, even this week, inshallah. You know, so in terms of completing, for Bara, I think it will be quicker. But our only challenge with Bara, you know, the land is normally inundated with water. So we're looking at, you know, dewatering and other systems to enable us to walk better. You know, so we're preparing ourselves for that because we had similar problems when we were doing the BCC headquarters for the mayor, where water was coming in and we did dewater a lot there. But Bara is a lot worse than that, and we're just preparing ourselves for that. You know, so once you're off the ground, I think it will be easier. You know, we just on most of the huts are off the ground. It's just the outside walk, the walkways and the stuff like that, and the soakaways. Those are the bits that create the challenge. But everything else, because they're off the ground already, you know, they don't pose a problem. We're now going to start doing the finishing, you know, the tiling, the windows, you know, even the electrics we already put in. So that's why I'm thinking Bara, you know, barring the problems on the outside, you know, we should be okay 3 to 4 months. Kunkiling, that's a different conversation, you know, where I don't know what they're going to do. But if we had it all, we hopefully could do that between 5 months, I would think, you know, because it's a bit further and the logistics as well. But the access could be also a challenge. We'll find a way how to get around that.
You know, you started the hotel, but you did not finish the hotel. Did you have the figure? How much did you spend on what you have done, the work you have already done? How much did that cost you?
On the hotel, roughly around 14 million. Yes.
Supplementary on that. So that 14 million, what is your standpoint with GT board right now?
Nothing. We just, sorry, Karen.
No, you can.
No, you see, the reason why I suffer a lot, I'm just patient. You see, I'm hoping and praying that at some point in the future, they will see the need to do it. And there's a need for it. But government is tight with finance. We all know that. So now may not be the time to have that discussion. That discussion will come when they need it. And when they do need it, I know they'll knock on my door, you know, because they will want us to finish it. And that's an investment for me. But it's tying me down, and chairman is asking me, if they give you 40, why can't you finish? But my money is tied up. Plus the fact about the price increase, plus the fact about these changes. If I had all of that money, we won't be sitting here talking about this by now. We will not, and I don't even need to borrow money from the bank. I won't need to. You know, I won't need to. But we also recognize the challenges of GT board and government, and money is tight. You know, but the problem with us is that we also, you know, they need to think about us because we also struggle and we've got our own liabilities, you know, and we keep pushing it back, kicking it further down the road, you know, but at some point we need to deal with it. And it's not just about, oh, you need to pre-finance and that, but there are issues in there which, as I explained before, it's not as simple as, oh, you said you were going to pre-finance. If everything was equal and unchanged, we won't be sitting here now. because we would have done this for a long time and they would have even given us something else. But in the way, a lot of things, you know, looking back in hindsight, it's always a fine thing that if I had known, there's no way I'll accept these variations. No way. But I thought it's something they wanted and they intimated to us. They even did the foundation stone and the minister was saying it. So what do I say to myself? That is not true? So.
Okay. Mr. Mende, we'll have to break this down. I've keenly listened to your earlier submission where you said that you've taken responsibility because you really counted on the words of the consultant and you never inked any agreement with them. So as such, when they came back and backtracked, you accepted. But if I heard you correctly, did I hear you say that you wrote a letter to them informing them that you've started it? No.
I was giving them interim figures.
Do you have any formal communication between you and GT board where you've informed them that the process for that DK Jawara Hotel have commenced as per the instructions of the consultant? If you have any letter, any correspondence to that,
I'll dig out.
I would urge the chairman if we can really have those documents. You know?
I'll dig out all the correspondence I've got.
Okay, chairman, if it is okay, if you can request for those documents.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
In terms of documents, the contract. Okay, we already have that. When they were requesting for the building of that extra work, that is the hotel, was the minister aware? You said the minister was at the laying of the
foundation stone.
He's the one who laid the foundation stone, or is it the president?
The minister.
It's the minister who did that. So it means that he is aware. He's aware of it. Mr. Mendy, have you built any ecologists in this country?
No, this is the first one.
This is the first one. So you really don't have any experience in building hotel as a company. You have no experience to show, huh? Example to show.
No.
No. Okay. I thought, Honorable, you want to say something?
My interest here is to gather all the evidence. If the minister was there and he indeed laid the foundation stone, search through the archives, maybe you might come across a picture. Because as of now, anything we have that can help the cause to justify that. As a committee, we want to approach it with an open mind and make sure that wherever injuries are, we see how best do we address it, and also make sure that the contract is executed in time and completed. You know, so Chair, that particular one also, if he can provide us anything that would definitely substantiate those pronouncements, it would help. Thank you.
Which one?
Photos of the foundation stone laying, don't you?
Yeah, possibly. Yes, newspaper cuttings and stuff. Yeah. It will be in the newspaper. It will be. I think I've got those. Yeah. Chair, can I just, Chair? You were asking me a question whether we've done any previous.
No, you've answered. You said no, you did not.
Right, but
you have no experience.
No, but I would like to point out that Sotoma has done. If you would compare our first crack at building what do you call it, an ecology, compare it with any other, and tell me what your assessment is. Because just to prove to you that it's not about having experience about doing it, it's about who is doing it. And me having 30 years experience in the UK, working in the construction industry there, this is nothing to me. So let's not make it seem as though we're building spacecraft going to the moon. It's not. That's why I said we've got a sample. Let's compare it with anything somebody else has done and see whether it's substandard or above standard or the same. I challenge anybody to check what we've done and compare it. That's how we compare. Not that whether I've got previous experience. It doesn't matter. It's what we've done. That's what talks. So for me, I would challenge anybody to go and check that. And anyone who tells you I've never done anything before, tell them go and see what he's done so far and tell me whether you've done anything like it or whether it's good or bad. That's all I will add to that.
Stan, I'm saying the contract is awarded to Lerr based on certain standards, based on certain information. There is criteria there. And we believe you've met that criteria. That's why they have given you the contract. But now if for example, experience in building ecologies.
No, that wasn't a criteria.
No, I'm just saying, if it is a criteria, and then you have never built.
That's not a specific
so, you know,
criteria.
There'll be a question mark.
That's not a specific.
It's not what you built in London, but
no. That's not a specific criteria. No, but Lerr Group Chairman, we've done so many buildings in this country. The Vice President's resident, we've done. I can cite so many buildings that we've done here. I've done so many buildings in this country. No, it's okay. I think. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Mende, it will be good for us to agree on something. Can we know the agreement you currently have with?
Good.
Can we know the agreement you currently have with Duty Board with regards to the completion, which means A, the handing over of Sutuma, the completion of Kunkiling and Bara, and the identification of the sites in Jahur and Nyanyabanda. So if you can have a timeline, you know.
Yeah. Puma, we're hoping to, they've given us some additional work there, which is what we're trying to finish. Like the walkways, they've redesigned it a bit and asked us to finish that. So we're hoping to get the materials from Senegal, you know, maybe by tomorrow. And then once we get it, we want to, because our money is tied up. If we don't finish it, they won't pay me. They've not been paying me direct. And the small monies they've been giving me is nothing to me. So for me, I keenly want to finish it so that they can pay me my money. So that's why this additional work, I didn't even want to do it, but they've asked us to really try and do it for them. So I'm trying to organize to go to Binjona to pick up the goods and bring it. My timeline there, I'm hoping by next Monday, inshallah, we should be in a position to say those extra works are done. But in terms of our works, we basically have finished ours. We will finish ours by Thursday, because there were some windows that were missing, and those windows were delivered today, and the guy will go and put those windows in. You know, so by Thursday, ours will be done.
So do we say Sutuma in August?
No. Sutuma on Monday.
Monday.
That's July.
You can say Sutuma end of July.
Yeah, if you're on end of July, yeah.
What about Kunkele?
Yes, no, Bara will be our next time. And Bara, as we said, in 4 months.
Bara in...
Yeah.
Then we'll have August, September, October, then end November for Bara. Huh? Okay. Then Kunkiling will be last.
December.
End December 2023. Thank you. Chair.
Sorry, I'm only an observer because I have interest in this. That's why I'm not personal interest, but I mean, social public interest. You know, he's confirmed that it's pre-financed, but we have experience. Government has also another experience of pre-financing in my constituency, the road work. But even though it is pre-financed, how was the contract done? Was the pre-finance paid by part or when you totally complete everything? Because pre-finance means pre-financing to a certain stage. So we have to be certain whether it's pre-finance, 3/4, pre-finance, and then they pay you for that. That also needs to be, because if you say pre-finance 100%, then it means that they have to deliver and get paid. I think we also need to be sure of what the terms were when it says pre-finance.
Yeah,
We'll allow him to respond.
yeah, the contract.
Yeah.
The contract says the contractor shall provide bridging finance for the project in between payments made by the buyer. The contractor shall provide bridging finance for the project in between payments made by the buyer being GT. In between payments made.
Okay. We will thank Mr. Mendy and partner for attending to this hearing, and commend you for coming on time, and we would also call on you, if you like the document you are reading, if you can provide those documents to us.
You've got it, the contract.
No, it's different. What you are saying and what we have is
I thought you said you got a copy of the contract.
we have the letter awarding the contract.
Oh, you don't have the contract?
Not the contract.
Can you make a note?
That's why we are asking you all the questions.
Okay. We'll make a copy for you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time.
Chairman, can I say something before I go? Or
Yes, of course. Anything useful to us.
Mr. Chairman, you've asked to convene this committee because of a petition. Fair enough, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to check things up, good things to investigate things, etc. I've watched it on TV a lot, checking up with the with the GPPA, the ex-Director General, trying to show why there's a difference between 19 million and 22. He couldn't explain it. He said, why is there a difference? There shouldn't be a difference. Trying to give the impression that something was wrong, underhand. And all it was just the VAT. You see, this country is growing into a culture of trying to look for blame somewhere rather than looking for solutions. Your committee, not that I would even attempt or dare to tell you where to redirect your efforts, but we are all Gambians and we know what is happening in this country. You've asked me to swear an oath to tell you the truth, and I'm telling you my truth, that the petition was just mirrors and smoke, a waste of time for everybody. Now, there are deeper problems you need to sort out in this country. If it's government projects, a lot of it is not working. We need to find out why they are not working. And you need to try and help contractors. Find a way how to help them to finish these contracts. Because the thing is, government is short of finance. We all know that. But with scarce resources, we will be able to manage ourselves to finish. Let's not go hunting, looking for scapegoats. But only you can stop that. Because your objective is to see those projects finished. We want to finish it. Rather than going to wild goose chases, looking for things that don't give us our objective. The objective is to finish it. And to finish it, we also need to check, make sure government funds are not being abused. But let's always keep an eye on, focus on the objective, is to try and finish it. How do we finish it? What will it take to finish it? Rather than condemning people to the guillotine, we look at how do we get this thing to work. Because those people have got hundreds of other people relying on them. This country is a social fabric. We all know it. Everybody relies on somebody. And because of that, we need to tread carefully sometimes and watch each other. But that doesn't mean that we don't do fair to the government and make sure that these resources are sorted out properly. Of course, let's investigate where it needs to. But let's not do it like the case that I've just had. This footballer, Benjamin Mendy in the UK, accused of rape and stuff. The guy's been incarcerated for 2 years. He's lost everything. And then they found him not guilty. We really want to avoid something like that happening to us in our country. So for me, all I'm asking is that do your investigation, but also can we look for solution? How we solve all these projects that are just sitting there, they cannot be completed. And to be fair with you, I don't think you will be able to do it, but you need professionals to help you to say, listen guys, we've got a problem. Let's brainstorm this. How we don't have money. There's a project, how do we finish it? All on us to help you how we're going to finish this project. Because there's lots of people with talent out there. When we sit in a room, we can brainstorm it.
You said something. You think that there is no money. No, but before these people gave you the contract,
yes,
they said there was money. So if you are saying now, you are just giving us evidence on what you know. But you cannot say there is no money because we are told that there was money.
I don't know about them. I'm just saying general. In general, my speech now is not directed at my project.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
As you are talking about these projects, let's look at, because I'm thinking our project is working okay. It's just the timelines we need to solve. GT board need to do their bit. We've got over the difficulty, the dark old days of these letters and stuff. Because for me, I think it was just trying to unravel something within their department. But what I'm thinking about the bigger old picture, it's not just my project that you're looking at. You must be looking at a lot of other projects. And if they
are looking at only your project.
Only mine. Okay.
The petition is about only the ecologists.
No, but
not any other project.
No. But I'm thinking, because this government projects being successful, but you then need to.
We understand what you are saying.
Yes.
We really thank you for what you are saying.
That's right. So that's what I'm trying to direct, redirect, and trying to get a solution
definitely.
to a problem that is really stagnating this country. Yes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendy, for the time. Huh? Thank you very much. Yeah. And I think we can have members can stay just for 2 minutes.